on DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. Talksport.
That's the weekend sports breakfast from 8, which gives us half an hour left to talk fishing. Keep your calls coming, 08717 223344. Next up is Ade Kiddell, barbel angler extraordinaire from Norwich in Norfolk, better known for pike in my mind. But do you know what? Good morning, Ade.
Morning, Norwich. How are you, mate?
I'm very well. You've just made me think. I started going to Norfolk pike fishing, but I also used to go there tench fishing. Is it Taverham Mill? Taverham Mill, yeah. And I can remember I used to walk over that little bit of river there, and in those days there was some lovely big roach in there and some chub. And then in latter years, it became a very good barbel stretch, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. There was some good barbel there at the time, and it's like all the Wensum barbel. Unfortunately, these days, Norwich, there's not many of them left.
Tragic, especially after all the work that the likes of Chris Turnbull and Steve Harper and probably yourself put into making it the barbel fishery it was.
Yeah, I can't claim to doing any of the work, but I know NACA, the Norfolk Conservation's done a lot of work up at Ling and got the habitat right, and the fish thrived on it, you know, and it's sad now that in my opinion, I know not everybody agree with me, but the otters have certainly done a lot of the damage.
Yeah, no, they certainly have. There is proof of it. They found carcasses that have been their throats ripped out by otters, haven't they?
Absolutely.
It's heartbreaking.
Absolutely, yeah.
Heartbreaking anywhere, but when you've actually put all that work in to create the fishery and all the habitat and provide spawning habitat for them, etc. It's heartbreaking. But it's interesting because there you are. I used to drive a long way up to Norwich from London to fish for pike. I still put a lot of miles on the clock, but you put some serious miles on, not just this country. I know you love the Severn and you love the Trent, but before we talk about that, you go to Holland a lot for your barbel fishing as well, don't you?
Yeah, Holland and Germany. I absolutely love it. I mean, my girlfriend who I live with now, I met her in Holland actually barbel fishing, so that sort of got a special thing for me, really.
Crikey, when you say barbel fishing, you were there barbel fishing. She's not a barbel angler as well, is she?
Oh, she is, yeah. And
Crikey.
And very good at it, yeah.
Wow.
So we have to be careful sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, that's a major stroke, isn't it, to go over to Holland and bump in... Is she Dutch?
Yes, she is, yeah.
Fantastic. Fair play to you. I'm impressed with that, mate.
Yeah. So, but we've done a big challenge this year, actually. Nigel, a young Dutch lad, Tim Jansen, he's organising a trip for us, and we're going to try and catch barbel, if we can, in 5 different countries in a period of about 6, 7, 8 days, something like that.
Cool, that's a great road trip, isn't it? So which countries are you going to go for?
France, Luxembourg, Belgium, Germany and Holland.
Brilliant.
So... he's done all the groundwork because he's a Dutch lad, lives in Holland. He's done all the groundwork for the tickets and camp facilities and everything. And we're going to see what we can do. It's just something that no one's ever done. It might just be a great challenge, and there's certainly some big fish to be had out there as well.
Literally, as soon as you catch one, reel in and off to the next venue, eh?
Well, maybe if we're if you're enjoying a day, we'll probably catch and go on. We're going to try and cover 10 rivers in the 5 countries as well. So. You know, there's a bit of a challenge there. We've got a camper van, I've got a camper van so we can sort of be pretty mobile with it and go from there. We'll see how it goes.
Sounds great. Because the interesting thing, I remember once writing a feature on, I don't think I wrote it on, no, I wrote it on the Thames rather than on barbel. But of course that's where our barbel came from, Germany, before the Ice Age, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what they say. That's certainly what they say. And, all the barbel out in that part of Europe are... basically all barbel, barbus. There's no difference term.
Unlike in Spain, where
where we just come back from.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. And were you fishing for the Camizo or the Andalusian barbel?
The Camizo.
Yeah,
the Camizo. I mean, they tell me there's 5 different species of barbel in Spain, and last time I was over, the time before last, in November last year I was over there, and we certainly caught 3 different species then. But this time I think we just managed the one Camizo species. It was tough going. So I only came back about 2 weeks ago. Pretty tough going. That they've had horrendous rain out there, record rainfall, and the lakes where we fish were the highest they've ever been.
Blimey.
So there was the trees, the forests were in the lake as well as buildings and everything else. So the fishing was pretty tough. We actually ended up on the Guadiana River. Still managed over 30 fish, which was quite good, and I had a PB river carp of 24/7.
Oh, well done.
So that was quite good as well, quite enjoyable.
It's funny because I went and fished for the Komitsu quite a few, well, probably 10 or 15 years ago now. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but I don't know if I said it on air or saying to somebody the other day that the strange thing about it was my first take, roared off, fantastic fight, and then when I netted it, it was a mirror of 24 pound, and I was like so gutted, although it was a beautiful, beautiful mirror.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we went in November last year, Nigel, I fished for 10 days and had over 200 fish. Sort of split between barbel, carp and catfish, and that was literally runs all day. Not huge fish, but the biggest Komitsu was about 16 pounds, but we just had so much sport, it was unbelievable.
Oh, it sounds fantastic.
There is so much fishing to be had out there. I mean, I don't know if any of the listeners are interested, if they search for extraderma fishing, or extramadura fishing.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to put that down. How do you spell it? I should know, I've been there.
EXTRE.
Yeah.
MADURA.
Yeah.
And it's if you go for www.extramadurafishing.com.
Yep.
That's a guy called Alan Hughes.
Right.
Alan's an old Trentman here. He's fished the Trent for years.
How do we spell his surname?
Hughes.
Right.
Alan Hughes.
Yeah.
And he runs holidays out there for British anglers, basically. He's an English guy, knows the score, knows what we want, a good breakfast, slap up dinner, and plenty of fishing, during the day and a bit of sun.
Sounds great. And you fly to Madrid for that, don't you?
Well, Alan don't mind really you fly to. I think he'll pick you up from for the airport, wherever. I mean, you can fly to Seville or to Madrid, really.
Yeah, because my trip to Extremadura, I went there only a couple of years ago. I went there pike fishing.
Yeah.
And we had some great pike fishing, but funny enough, it won't surprise you, I caught quite a few barbel on lures.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
And it's not a nice experience because a barbel's mouth isn't suited to a treble hook, and you just feel terrible unhooking them. But of course, they fight.
Yeah, they certainly do. The other thing they've got out there, which is interesting, if anybody ever wants to fish for them, is the black bass.
Yeah.
The lakes are full of black bass.
Oh, that's right. I'll tell you what, I'll talk to you about that. I love fishing for those. But hey, do you mind hanging on? Because I've got to go to a break, but I don't want to cut you short.
No, no problem, mate.
All right, great. You stay right there. I'll come straight back to you right after this.
All right, mate.